Huh?
When I restarted, it didn't send us out, but we're going to start now.
Okay.
For real this time.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Sorry about the mic issues. Joey's in the background getting it all fixed out. Sorry about that. If you can hear me loud and clear, by all means, respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation, to let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. I see we lost some people, but that's all right. That's all right. The people who were meant to be here are here. There you go. That's all that matters. I had a great time in Hawaii. This is my first live stream after Hawaii. I did the video last night. You guys did good watching it. I'm also doing the video tonight as well, so I see the people can hear me. There you go. Absolutely. I got a lot to talk about today. Man, as I said in the video last night, I go away and the market goes to hell in the handbasket. But there's a lot of stuff going on. I had nothing to do with it. Yes, I was sitting back drinking some lava flows and some Mai Tais and some Bahama Mamas. We got the drink package, so we got all that stuff. But, you know, I can see that you guys were going through some stuff as well. Nice little rebound in the market today as you're looking at the homepage. You got the Dow up 1%. You got the NASDAQ up 1%. You got the S&P up 1%. You got the composite up 1%. Looks like the market was done with the market being down. Now, you know me, I'm going to tell you just like I told you last night. Trade the chart. Could this be a dead cat bounce? I don't know. Could we have found the bottom even with the buy to sell ratio not quite where it needed to be? I don't know. What I will tell you is that markets don't like uncertainty. We are still going through uncertainty. These tariffs have everybody's minds flipped all over the place. They do. It is what it is. And that's why I said to stay out of the news and watch the trend of the market, watch the VectorVest composite before you make any decisions. Jazz says it's a bull trap. And you're right, Bill. The day is still young. Anything can happen before the day closes out today. But nice little rebound today. And you got to stop back and say to yourself, did we actually find the bottom and is the market moving higher? So let's start right there. Let's get into the market timing graph. From the market timing graph, there's today's candle. Nice open candle. We call that a one white soldier. That's a positive sign. Could this have finally been the bottom? Again, the buy to sell ratio never quite got to where I needed it to be, which was below the value of 0.20. We got close, but no cigar. And tonight's video, I did a little differently. It's going to be just like when we do the State of the Union, when the president does the State of the Union, I am doing a state of the U.S. Stock market tonight. So it's going to be a lot more monotone, but it's going to be talking about what's going on in the market and why markets don't like uncertainty and what's causing the market the uncertainty. And the big reason right now, tends to be the tariffs. Okay, tends to be the tariffs. Tariffs, and in my mind, this is what I got to say. In my mind, when it comes down to the tariffs, I think it's going to be short-term pain for long-term gain. That's my opinion. Does anybody agree with that opinion? Type a 1 if you agree with that opinion. Type a 2 if you don't agree with that opinion. I want to know where you guys stand. Now, in my mind as well, I think that tariffs are designed to be used as a tool to help people come to the bargaining table. Because the U.S. doesn't like this, Canada may or may not like this, Mexico may or may not like this, and you come to the table, and we sit back and we say to ourselves, all right, let's hash out what we need to hash out. So Bill says uncertain on tariffs. And I still think that tariffs are a tool. Let me start there. I still think that tariffs are a tool. I just think that our closest allies to the North and the South, was it necessary to do that? And I'm kind of undecided in answering that question. But I also look at the things that we're trying to protect ourselves against, a lot of illegal aliens coming in from the North into the South, and fentanyl. Those two things. And I think that the United States is just taking a stance of trying to protect ourselves. Whether you agree with that or not, I'm not gonna disagree or agree or not. It is strictly not by VectorVest. It's strictly just my take on it. All right, strictly just my take. And not necessary, said Bills. Tariffs never work. I think tariffs have a place, especially when things are going way awry in what we're trying to do compared to what other countries are doing to us. I think that they have a place. I think that they do. I think it comes down to how they're being used and to what end result we're looking for. Richard says, don't say illegal aliens, though. How about immigrants? I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Immigrants, illegal immigrants. I'm all with that. And Richard, thank you for pointing that out to me. I'm not trying to offend anyone with the verbiage that I'm using in any way, shape, form, or fashion. All right? And you know me, I don't like to try to make what we do here on the channel political. I really don't. But when you start talking about tariffs and who you're applying them to, it does become a little bit more political, and it affects our markets. So anything that affects our markets, I still have to discuss, because that's what we're here about. All right, we're here about being able to make money in the stock market. And when things do affect, unfortunately, it comes into the conversations. All right, it does. This sounds like it's going to be political. CB, the political side of it stops right then and there. I just needed to talk about why these things that are political are affecting the market. All right, that's what it's all about. All right, with that being said, I got a lot of chat coming in, and that's cool. Richard put me on the right track, and I'm okay with that. Buy to sell ratio did get to 0.20. Intraday is not what I'm looking for, Fitz. I'm looking for end of day for the BSR to be at or below 0.20. That's what I was looking for, all right? And it just never really got quite there where it was, where I needed to be. Roger, that statement in regards to the tariffs is true. And a lot of people don't see that. And again, no more political stuff. So if, I want to go back to the idea of trading the chart. Nice open candle today. Is it time to go back up the truck? Is this a bottom fishing opportunity? Is this the blast off day? I don't know if we're being tricked into this. Could this be a dead cat bounce? Don't know. I need more confirmation tomorrow. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody here. I do need more confirmation tomorrow. Open bar, no wick at the top, which means we're trading at session highs. When we looked at the home page, all of the major indices were up 1%. Now, for those of you who are holding on to your contra ETFs like I talked about last night, today they're getting killed. All right, and if you're down more than about 5-6%, I'm probably thinking you need to take that off the table and wait for tomorrow and see what happens. That's my opinion. Because as I look into the software, looking at contra ETFs to even think about getting into today, they're all getting beaten up. Now, some of them still have RTs above 1, which is a good sign. But a day like today is wiping out a lot of the gains that many of you may have on the contras, and I do not want to get you guys in a situation where you take a big hit. You know something? I can get out, and if the market still goes down, I can get back into them. I still think, because of the tariffs, because of the uncertainty in the market, I still think that we have more downside. I think that. Now, what I think and what's reality is probably two different things. That's why I say trade the chart, not your heart. All right, does that make sense to everybody out there? Yes or no? All right? I need, before we go forward, I just need you to know where I stand and what I'm looking at so that you guys are in the right frame of mind, number one, and playing the market the right way. Does that make sense to everybody? I personally don't think that this is the end of the pullback in the market. I really don't. The tariffs is big news, and the tariffs are a big concern for people globally, which is still causing uncertainty, which leads me to believe that we do have more downside. But if the market says, oh, heck no, that's enough for downside, we're getting ready to rock and roll, play the chart, folks. All right? Play the chart. And right now I see a rebound in the market today. Jazz says that it's a bull trap. I'm thinking that he might be right, but what I think is might be right or whatever, play the chart. Trade the chart, not your heart. All right? So that's where we stand going into today's activity. Let's get into some news of what's moving the market. This came out yesterday. Came out today. The IXIC, the NASDAQ briefly dives into correction. Think about that. If it did, and now we're rebounding, could this be the start of a nice uptrend or bottom fishing campaign? We will be able to see that tomorrow if we get follow through. All right. And look at this. Tech lovers jump to buy the dip. I'm going to tell you to be careful with that, folks. One day doesn't make a trend. One day doesn't make a trend, and we still have the uncertainty of still how these tariffs are going to still play out. All right. Next story. S&P jumps as growing tariff relief hopes cool global trade war fears. I don't know if it's really cooling the trade war fears or not. I still think that we're going to get more retaliatory stuff. And think about this. How long does this last for? If this is a long standoff with tariffs, the market's going to have more downside. If there's any idea that somebody is willing to come to the table and talk about it, that could then cool the trade wars. I don't see that happening yet. I think both sides, all the sides right now who are involved in this, are going to stand fast at this particular point in time. I still think that we got some more downside in the market. All right? So we'll see. Canada doesn't need the U.S. to meet U.S. meat and eggs, though. They have huge farms, too. But you look at the economies. How does the tariffs affect their economy? It's going to affect our economy, but who's going to be worstly affected? Worstly is a horrible word. Who's going to be worstly affected? And there's the standoff. Who's able to stay and absorb the hits from the tariffs longer? That's where it's going to come down to. That's really what it's going to come down to. So we'll see. All right, we'll see. Again, I think that there's still more downside. Is the longer this trade war goes on, the more downside the market has. All right, the more downside, because it's not gonna help either side, but somebody's gonna have to concede at some point in time to come to the table. All right. Private employers added just 77,000 new jobs in February, far below their expectations, ADP says. Now, when we start to talk about the market and how it affects into the economy, they're supposed to be two different things, right? But this kind of stuff affects both together. The job market is starting to cool a little bit. That's not good. That's going to give more downside longer term to the market as well. If the job market starts to cool down, because what's been keeping us like saying, hey, the economy is still good, is jobs and earnings. 97% of the companies that reported, 97% of the companies reported earnings so far. 63% of them beat earnings. Earnings still are rocking and rolling. The economy overall still is not bad, which is why I still don't think that we need a cut to the interest rates. Now, what I've been looking at, the next feasible time for a cut is going to be in May. But it's going to be hard to cut interest rates if inflation starts to rise. Oh, I didn't talk about that, did I? Tariffs are going to affect inflation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, because tariffs put more money on the goods and services that we get. Inflation is going to rise. We took it from 9% down to 3% with the tariffs. We're not going to see this until probably the next quarter, but tariffs will affect the market adversely because inflation is going to rise. So it comes back to me to what I said. I think that the tariffs are going to be short-term pain for long-term gain. But that's just me saying that. I don't know for a fact. I'm just putting that out there. I still think that we got more downside to the market. But if the job market starts to cool from an economic standpoint, that's not good for the economy. All right? What if he starts to raise? I don't think you raise either yet. You don't raise until inflation becomes an issue. At 3%, I don't call that an issue yet. When we got to 9%, or as we were rising to 9%, the Fed called it transitory. The worst thing he ever wanted to say. I think if we watch inflation rise and start to tick up, it's not going to be transitory. I think we're going to then see some action happen a lot faster than the last time before we got up to 9%. All right, so that's what I think. Today is Dr. DeLito's birthday. Absolutely. I am missing me some Dr. DeLito as well. Absolutely. Today is his birthday. All right. So going forward, look at that. The Dow rebounds by 500 points after the Trump tariff auto delay. Aha! I picked up some Ford today. All right, shorter term, the three major companies called up to the president. The president said, okay, I'll delay the tariffs for you guys. What is that? Stellantis, GM, and Ford. I did pick up some Ford today. That was news-driven for me to pick up Ford today. I don't know, it's only for 30 days? We'll see how that really plays out. 30 days is not a lot of time, but it is some time to not be totally adversely affected by the tariffs. So I took the dive and I did pick up Ford. Anybody trading any of the top three car manufacturers? Type a 1 if you are and put which one you're trading. Type a 2 if you are not. All right, so I just put it out there that I did pick up some Ford today. This was big news. This was definitely some big news, and nobody's picking it up. Look at that, nobody's picking it up. All right, again, short term, we'll see how it plays out. Short term, I am playing it short term. I'm going to see if I can pick up a few $100 billion. And when I do, I'll buy everybody some Ford. All right, if I can pick up a couple of few $100 billion on that trade, I'll hook you up. But nobody's picking it up. Wow, I stand out on the island by myself. I'm okay with that. Nobody's picking it up. It is what it is, all right? So that was news today. That's part of my stories, too. Stocks rise in choppy session as investors eye potential Trump tariff delay for automakers. That goes back to back. All right, I think it's good news. Bill says, go for it, Glenn. I'll keep you apprised as to what's going on with that, all right? I'll keep you apprised. I think that was enough news for me for that to come up a little bit. Glenn, when is the next vacation? Why? You trying to get rid of me already? Goodness gracious. I don't know when I'm not even thinking about my next vacation. This was a lot of vacation. This was a great vacation. I'm putting miles on my 2024 GMC Duramax. You guys do know I have an Excursion, or the 2001 or 2002 Excursion. That's a big truck. We aren't supposed to buy. I didn't say we were supposed to buy. I told you it was an aggressive play. It's an aggressive, Nancy, it's an aggressive news-driven play. You're right, you're not supposed to be buying. But this was an aggressive news-driven play. And because I know that, I'm going to trade it accordingly. Does that make sense, Nancy? I will trade it accordingly. Time to travel during the market uncertainty, just not to the U.S. I hear you, Michael. All right, let's get to the next story. Tesla has another bad month in Germany as sales tumble 76%. Woo! How many of you are trading Tesla to the downside? I think that I am already. I think I already had, I may or may not have been in it. While I was on vacation, I only owned one stock, and that was Palantir. I own that stock free and clear. So I think I'm going to hold that forever. I'm just definitely going to hold that forever. That's mine, is paid for. With the gains that I have on Palantir, I can hold that stock forever, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. What gain are you thinking will come? What are you saying, Niles? On what gain on what? All right. There you go. Joe Mama, love that name. Got some TSLL puts. Elon is pissing off Europeans. Elon is pissing off a lot of people. All right. Elon is pissing off a lot of people. And Nancy, I'm going to go back to what you said before about this wasn't the time to buy. You're right. But I want you to also be careful. If you're trading contras, be very, very careful. A day like today is going to wipe out all your gains on your contras. One of two things is going to happen. right now. And the stocks that you own, you should have already been selling covered calls or buying protective puts. All right? Number one. Number two, contras. But if you're going to play contras right now, because we're getting close for the market looking for a bottom, close. If you're going to play contras, I'd play the non-leverage contras. That's what would be on my mind right now. All right? Elon is doing good work. Suck it up. Listen, I'm not getting into that. I told you I'm not trying to get into that. I don't want nobody getting pissed off at me. Don't get pissed off at me. All I am is the purveyor of the news. I'm bringing the news to you. And Galadriel, again, I hear you. I hear you. Again, I want everybody to like everybody. This is a kumbaya moment, even as the market is going erratic. Can we get that? I want everybody in here to get along. Everybody's going to have different opinions. Everybody's going to have different opinions. I just want everybody to have a kumbaya. I know, Blair. I know. I'm just putting that out. I'm just putting that out there. I see the chat. All right. Next story. I like this story. Novo Nordisk cuts Wegovy prices following a similar move by Zepbound. There's a lot of people out there that are on these drugs that are having great results. This is where you look at the big drug companies and you're saying, wow, everybody wants these drugs, let's raise the prices up. And this is where a lot of people say that drug companies are greedy. All right? My wife and I disagree on that, but my wife says these drug companies are greedy. She's in that space. All right? She's a respiratory therapist. And so we differ in opinions. But I think that because the demand is so strong on these and people are getting results, I love the idea that they're cutting the prices to get these people on these drugs. All right. So I like Eli Lilly, the best one out of all of the companies, bigger company. I love everything about Eli Lilly. But I love that Novo Nordisk is coming on to do it as well. Following that, how about this? Amgen starts 2 critical late-stage trials for weight loss drug Maritide. Again, is the GLP-1 mania over? I thought that it was, but evidently it's not. Amgen is probably not going to be the last company to come in with weight loss drugs. It's a big, big market. I like that because it's becoming such a big market that companies are starting to lower the prices so that more people can take part. And Amgen is starting to get into the fray as well. And I don't think that this is going to be the last company. I don't think this is going to be the last company. Fitz says, for now, Lilly is a core holding for me. I'm all about the Eli Lilly when it comes down to all of these. I'm going to the gym and working out and fasting. Now I just wish I could eat less because I get hungry when I work out. That's why you're supposed to take a protein drink, right? More drug sales equals more earnings that drives pharma stocks up. It's true, right? The pharma companies that make money have a lot of different drugs in the pipeline that people are going to buy and drives those stock prices higher. You know, we go through cycles. When news comes out about a drug company, especially because of the FDA, those companies run, all right? But you got to look at the fundamentals of the company. Where's the relative value and relative safety at? A lot of these drug companies move on news. Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk tend to have good fundamentals. The bigger companies that have been around longer, tend to have some fundamentals behind them. So there you go. Man, I need to retire so I can watch my stocks while hanging out with Uncle Glenn. Well, one day, Joe. One day. I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to go. You know something? I was close to telling my wife, babe, we need to move to Hawaii. I was very close to saying that, for real, for real. The temperature is just beautiful. The water is gorgeous. The lands are amazing. The activities to do are amazing. Almost ready to just say, yo, let's just go. But realistically, I'm not quite there at that point to be able to effectively do that, but I ain't far from it, all right? I ain't far from it. 6 more years, I don't even think I need 6 more years. I don't even think I need 6 more years. Man, just, it was an awesome trip. And if you've never been to Hawaii, you gotta go. Now, let me tell you something. The vacation was probably one of the more expensive vacations that we've taken by far, all right? But it was well worth it, all right? All right, let's keep moving on. Next story. Safe haven for when the market goes down. Silver extends advance on weaker dollar and trade war worries. Usually, gold, I just went through puberty, sorry. Usually gold and silver are affected by the dollar. All right, and with the trade wars going on, the dollar is going to be affected. Might not be a bad time to look into silver and gold. How many of you are trading precious metals? I don't care what it is, silver, gold, platinum, blah, 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 blah. Type of one in the room if you are trading precious metals. This may not be a bad time, especially with the dollar being affected by the trade wars. It may not be a bad time to look at precious metals, folks. I'm just putting that out there. All right. I did pick up, I don't remember if I picked up GLD or SLV, but I think I did pick up the bearish side of oil. I did pick up drip, but I'm not sure if I did pick up precious metals. This may not be a bad time to look at precious metals at all. So just putting that out there. Normally a safe haven for when the market goes down, right? Actually, for when the dollar gets hit. Usually it's that direct correlation. Strong dollar, stay out of gold and silver. When the dollar gets weaker, you think about silver and gold. So we'll go from there. All right. Scale AI is something I looked at, I found out about. It's a private company. It's not something you can trade. But on the AI front, Scale AI announces a multi-million-dollar defense deal. You know I'm big on DFEN. I did pick up some DFEN. All right, defense deal. Telling you that there's going to be a ramp up in the defense sector, industry, however you want to look at, going on for the next 4 years. You don't want to miss out, in my opinion, you don't want to miss out on that. We're going to take a look at DFEN, a major step in U.S. military automation. All right, you know what I saw a story today too? I saw a story about China. China says they're going to, and they said it, they're aggressively are going after the reunification of Taiwan. That bothers me because you would think that with the administration that we have now that they would step back a little bit and be like, well, maybe we'll think a little longer. That ain't the case. They're still right now saying that they are aggressively going after the reunification of Taiwan. Folks, that ain't good. All right? More news that could affect the market to the downside. All right? More news that could affect the market to the downside. So I'm looking at the short-term stories. I'm looking at the long-term plays. And I'm thinking that there's a lot, looking at the jobs market, because a lot of people are getting laid off because of what's going on with this administration. I'm looking at the tariffs, how long they're going to be. The longer they are, the more they're going to affect the market to the downside. I'm looking at China saying we're going to go after Taiwan. There's a lot of things out there, folks, that have the ability to push the market down in a big way. You just need to know these things. That's all. I am not trying to be the bringer of doom and gloom at all. All right? But I am just, you guys need to know. This is why you come to the channel. All right? I don't want to, between Ryan and I, we try not to never blow smoke where it don't belong. We want to keep you informed as to what's truly going on in the market. And these are things that could affect the market to the downside for the foreseeable future. Joey, get the whip. Glenn needs more after vacation stress training. What is that? I don't understand what that means. Taiwan Semiconductors just secured a $100 billion investment. I saw that. I did see that. All that means for us is I think that we're just putting ourselves in a stronger position to be able to say that we're going to have to defend Taiwan. That's all that I think. I did see the story about the vets that will be laid off. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Do I know anyone that works there? No. I'm a vet. I want to read more into the story because I think that people just look at the number. I think people just look at the number. But are you looking at Do we need them? Are we okay without them? And can we run more efficiently? And I'm thinking that the number, the laid off number, even though I may not like the number, will it allow the VA to run more efficiently? That's the question, not the number. Does that make sense to everybody out there? That's what and I'm a vet, and I don't want vets to be, kicked to the curb, especially the people that are working in the VA. But those people that will be let go, does that allow the VA to work more efficiently? And unless somebody can give me a story that says yay or nay, I'm not going to worry about the number just quite yet. Do I like it? No. But if it's being done for the reason to make that department run more efficiently, that's what I'm looking at, Akshaya, not the number. All right? I hope that doesn't affect the VA hospitals. And Michael, that's got to be part of the story outside of just the number of people that are being laid off. All right? There he goes. 80,000 out of 377,000 people is 25%. Does that 25% make us more efficient? Still, that's the question. Does that 25% make us more efficient? All right, next few stories. I hate that I'm over here at the training center because the stories don't come up here. It's Joey's fault. All right, I've seen questions come up about crypto. You know how I feel about crypto? I'm not quite calling it crapto anymore. But listen, for those people who are looking at crypto, this could be positive signs for crypto. Crypto prices reverse higher as traders brace for key Trump summit. I know Ryan talked about it last week. And it seems like a lot of you guys don't really like crypto. Those videos don't get watched very much on the channel. It is, John says crypto will always be crapto. But nonetheless, if it gives you an opportunity, John, to make some money, that's what I'm bringing to the table. The crypto reserves are going to be talked about at this summit. That's putting more eyeballs on crypto. It really, really is. And trying to make it more legitimate. And if that happens and people buy into it, crypto's got an opportunity to go up a lot. A lot. But we'll see. Next story about crypto. Crypto enters the golden age, says Coinbase's Brian Armstrong, touting the landmark SEC win, looking at crypto as sort of like, not a commodity, as a stock, whether or not that's the case. Coinbase won the landmark decision. Crypto could be getting ready to go. All right, I'm putting that out there. Could be getting ready to go. Now, I have to admit to that. Whether I like it or not is a whole different story, but if it's going to give you guys an opportunity to make money, I got to talk about it. Keep your eyes on crypto. Keep your eyes on crypto. And this crypto reserve is going to be big for crypto if it makes it happen. All right, so just keep your eyes on that. So natural gas extends rally as Ontario retaliates to tariffs with electricity export tax to the U.S. I saw that is it a premier? Who's the leader of a province in Canada? All right, somebody tell me that. Who's the leader of a province in Canada? What is their title? For some reason, I said premier. I don't know. Hold on. Somebody's going to type it in the room. There it is. It is premier. Okay. So there was a premier that said because of the tariffs that they were going to cut off electricity to a lot of the northern United States in like New York and Minnesota and all that kind of stuff. I was like, wow, that kind of sucks. That kind of puts us in a hard spot right there. If Canada could just say, okay, fine, flip the switch and turn it off. I don't think that they would. I would rather they just tariff us. All right, I think not. Bill says Grand Pooba. I would rather they just tariff us than I think that would be kind of jacked up if you just flip a switch and just says, okay, no more electricity for you, bye-bye. I don't think that would be good. Just if you're going to do it, just tariff. And there it is. Ontario retaliates to tariffs with electricity export tax to the U.S. Just do that. Premier Ford of Ontario. There we go. All right, so if it comes down to that again, there's going to be a tit for tat. It's going to go back and forth. And the longer this goes, the more it's going to hurt everybody. All right, the more it's going to hurt everybody. Will VectorVest be offering a class on trading crypto? Probably not, Roger. That's not a nice thing to say, Marguerite. Not nice. Marguerite, hold your hand out. Hold your hand out. Not nice. Okay, I'm done. All right, that's all I got to say about that. Trump says a lot of things, but I pay attention to what he does. Okay, there we go. And I got one more story. This is an interesting story. Aqua Metals jumps after claiming major milestone in recycled battery materials. In this story, it was talking about making nickel out of recycled battery materials. I'm keeping my eye on this stock. Again, I bought this AQMS. I bought this on a news-driven perspective. So I did buy 2 stocks off of news-driven perspectives, but because I know that, I'm going to trade them close to the vest, all right? Because they are news-driven. We'll see what happens with them. Doesn't Joey have a crypto course with the oh boy? No, he does not. Glenn, you can't go on vacation. I ran the data. Your vacations are equal to market meltdowns. It's not very often I go on vacation. I don't go on vacation. I'm here more so than not. All right? I'm here more so than not. I have to ask, Joey, how was your vacation away from Glenn? Wow. So Joey, no, look at me, Joey. Look at me. How was your vacation away from me?
Oh, I was so rested.
I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he said he was so rested. Really? I know he missed me.
My mental health is better.
Your mental health was better? All right. So those are all the stories that I have. A lot of it dealing with, again, the tariffs and how they're affecting us. Long term, this is not going to be a good thing for either side. It really isn't. We'll see what. Oh, really? So you had to pin that up there, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Let's get back into the software. And let's go to the viewers. There's the move of the market today. There it is. The VIX is falling, but still at 21, which means volatility is still high. Volatility is still high. People are still fearful in the market. But we got a little rebound today. I'm not buying into this rebound today. Not quite yet. I need more confirmation. Are you on board with that? Anybody buying into the rebound today? Type of 1. If you're not buying into the rebound today, type of 2. All right. Are you buying into the rebound today? If you are, type of 1. If you're not buying into the rebound today, type of 2. I'm not buying into this. I am not buying into this. I'm not yet. One day doesn't make a trend. And I'm still looking at, what went on with the buy to sell ratio. I showed it in the video last night, going back in time. When we do have a really big, robust move in the market is when the MTI and the buy to sell ratio hit below those levels of 0.6 and 0.2 respectively. That's when we have a nice, robust rebound. Gold is not a bad play, Troy. I said that, and I'm saying that more so because of the tariffs affecting the dollar, Troy, that gold is not a bad play. All right, gold is not a bad play. As long as the dollar gets hit and becomes a little weaker, gold becomes a little stronger. All right, so the DEW is not turned, but I am watching it. I'm not ready. Something, I think we're far away from the DEW to start thinking about that. I have the strategy of the week this week, and I'm going to be talking about what to look for bottom fishing. So make sure you watch the special presentation going into this week. Contra ETFs. On a day like today, guess what? They're all getting killed. They're all of the gains that you may have had on them are going away today. All right, but one day does not make a trend. One day does not make a trend. So with that being said, we need more confirmation tomorrow. We hit exactly 0.2 and 0.58. What's a good confirmation for bottom fishing? I need us to close, not intraday. I need us to close below that 0.2. The MTI did close below 0.6, but I needed to see the buy to sell ratio close below 0.2 or at 0.2. We got close. All right, we got close, but when we have a real robust move up, It tends to be when those levels are right at those levels or below. There's not yet enough evidence to say the low is in. Lee, I'm with you 110%. As a matter of fact, let's go back to the graphs. Looking at today's move, the buy to sell ratio is back up today. But looking at the bottom, right, if you want to call this the bottom, closing, the MTI at 0.60, the buy to sell ratio at 0.24. Not quite where I needed it to be. And look at the pullback. If you look at the pullback from the high, we leveled out here a little bit. This was a deep pullback right here. What was the level of the MTI and buy to sell ratio? Not quite there yet. Did we get a robust move up? No. And it could do the same thing again. If the buy to sell ratio and MTI never really hit those levels, will we have a robust pull up like we did here? Look at that nice run up there. Let's go look at where the MTI and buy to sell ratio was. Look at that. Below 0.6, below 0.2. That's when we get those robust moves. Does everybody understand that? That's important. That's important. Does everybody, and I can go back time and time again to these levels. Here's a low. There it is, 0.57 below, 0.12 below. It took a little time for this to move, but did move up. All right, does everybody understand that? Yes or no? That's why it's important to not only track the graph, but track the levels of those indicators, folks. I don't think you're going to find any other source for the market that can pinpoint when you have a real bottom, folks. Nobody else can really do this. I can go back in time over and over and over again. Here's a pullback. Below, look at that move. Here's a pullback more recently. Let me zoom in. Sigh. Here's a nice pull off here by itself. Look at that, right? Not quite. And look at the rebound. Wasn't like, woo! It wasn't like that. It was like, ho-hum. That's why looking at those levels is so important. All right? And I think that I needed to visually show that so that you guys can see the importance of those two indicators when looking for a bottom. I needed to visually show that. All right, let's go back to my viewers. Let's go see what stocks I picked for today. My picks for today. TSLQ, there it is. That's the short on Tesla, right? With the badness that's going on there, it's a rebound today. Natural gas, I like. With the influx of the tariffs, natural gas may play a role in this. This is news driven with the new weight loss drug, along with Novo Nordisk. Silver and gold, I'm liking the precious metals. All right, the tariffs will affect the dollar adversely. I'm telling you, keep your eyes on precious metals. DFEN, look at that, up 7% today. You know how I feel about that. You know, and RT is above 1. I'm liking it even more now. Finally, the stock is in an uptrend. The IXIC up today, but you know what I don't like? It's not in an uptrend yet. One day doesn't make a trend. It's not in an uptrend yet. Bitcoin, the summit is going to cause rave reviews. It's going to happen. When am I going to think about getting into Bitcoin based upon what happens there? Is when RT goes above 1. We're not there yet. And AQMS was a news-driven story, up 5% today. Not fundamentally sound, number one. Number two, not in an uptrend. This is strictly news-driven. We power us on U.S. on a minor pullback. Boogers lost you. I can get that. I don't think that the pullback that we've had is enough. I really don't. And I think that the longer the tariffs hold on, the worse this is going to be. Sorry would have helped you earlier, but I was away from the screen for a couple of minutes. What did you say, Joe? I don't know what you said, what I said. 68 new lows on the New York Stock Exchange, not time for being bullish. I don't think it's time yet still. Hey, can you hover on the minor dips? Hover on one of the minor dips? Like this one right here. There's a minor dip. Look at that. Buy this out and look at that run up before I pull back again, minor dip. Again, look at the run up, not big. But every time I can show you where the MTI and buy to sell ratio were at or below those levels, a big rebound ensued. All right, so there we go. All right, those are all of the stocks that I have for this week. We'll see how they work out next week. Ryan's picks last week, I wonder, does he have them in here?
I think you have him in his.
Oh, he had them in his, right? Okay, then never mind. I didn't give any fish today. Top VST 3.8 crossing. Don't have that. All I'm telling you, to buy now, it's going to be one of two different things. Right now, I would wait this out to see how the tariffs are going to work. I think the market's going to have more downside. Make sure if you're going to buy any contras, make sure you do it on a down day. Make sure you do it on a down day. All right, today would not be a good day to get into contras. And if you're holding contras right now, you need to have tight stops on them. All right, limit your losses. Limit your losses, and then from that perspective, if the market continues to go down, you can put more stocks in there. All right, 69 likes gives you 7 stocks to take a look at today. Where's the customer picks? Customer picks this week. I gotta put in new stocks. All right, here we go. New stocks. MSTR, comma coin, comma BABA, comma KGC. I still like that stock. I don't know what's going on with it right now. SAN, comma GS, Goldman Sachs, comma MP, comma Harmony. I do like that play. Harmony, can't remember stuff. CRS, how many stocks is that? How many likes? Oh, we got 73 likes. And I gave you 9 stocks. I'll give you one more. EDC. All right, giving you 10 stocks. You know the deal, right? For every like you put up there, we get, for every 10 likes you put up there, we get a stock. Right now we're sitting at 72, but I still gave you 10 stocks. Still gave you. Boy, I like, Michael, I like UNG a little better, though. I do like, gold is, do I have a gold play up here? I do have Harmony, and I have Kinross. I do have 2 gold plays. All right, there's a play for crypto, Goldman Sachs. I think we're kind of well-rounded here. All right, let's go graph these. First things first, looking at all of these stocks, which stocks are in uptrends? Which stocks are not? Let's start with the ones that are not. MicroStrategy, not in an uptrend. Coin, again, I think, we'll see how the summit works in regards to crypto, but I'm not going to start to think about buying any crypto stocks until their RTs get above 1. That's going to be more important to me than not. The news can be great and they run. I'm not going to look at crypto stocks unless RT is above 1. All right, but the majority of the stocks you gave me have RTs above 1, which means they are in uptrends. All right, let's take a look at these let's graph them all. I want to look at which graph. Where is something YT? No, Star Search YT. Gosh, these lights are killing me, Joey. What is it? Yield max? No. What am I looking for? I'm looking at VectorVest graph YT, I think. VectorVest layout. Did I not have one in here? I thought I did. No. VectorVest graph YT. Yep, that's what I want. So it's a standard VectorVest graph, but I added value, which is here, and I added volume. Nice move on Alibaba today. You know what I'm looking for? I know we shouldn't be still buying stocks right now, but we're going to look at some stocks that are going to have the ability to still keep rising. I needed to break above that level of resistance. Nice open day today, coming off a nice little level of support above the stop. RT is rising, bump up in volume. That means the stock's price is not only going up today and trading at session highs, it's doing it on a little bit higher volume than it's been going on. I like the play. Now keep in mind, as I say, I like any of these stocks. Keep in mind what's going on in the market. Keep in mind what's going on in the market. But if this stock wants to go, I needed to go above that level of resistance first. Next one, SAN, another bank. Definitely moving from, is that the win, Joey?
Yes.
Oh, definitely moving from the bottom left to the top right. New high today. Wow, look at the volume. And it's cheap. You know, if you're in this, leave it alone. Let me draw a trend line. If you're in this, leave it alone. I'm not going to tell you to panic. The stock wants to go up. Let it. I would use this trend line. If you own it, I'd use this trend line. New high today over the last 3 months. You can't fight the tape. Okay, you can't fight the tape. I'm going to still tell you, remember, 80% of the stocks move with the market. All right? 80% of the stocks move with the market. We're probably looking at a portion of the 20% that are going against the market. Be careful. If you're in it, though, leave it alone. Use this trend line as a level to close out the position. MP Materials, mining other. Nice jump today. I don't know what the news was on it. Nice jump today, but I'm not thinking about this until it breaks through that level of resistance. What am I looking for? Horizontal line. It needs to break through this level of resistance, and we're not far from it. Volume is creeping up. RT is above 1. Way overvalued, though. Value is not rising. Be careful with that. You know, if I'm going to buy a stock to the upside in the current market's conditions, you know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for stocks that are breaking something technically. You know, whether it's a trend line, whether it's resistance and volume. But you know what else I'd really like to look at? I'd really like to look, even if it's overvalued, I'd prefer to be undervalued. But if I'm looking at overvalued, I want to make sure that value is rising. Does that make sense to any stocks that you want to buy long right now? Does that idea make sense? Let's look for a technical move, breaking above a downtrend, getting to a level of resistance, making sure that RT is above 1 and rising, looking at volume for conviction. If you're going to buy anything, folks, that's what you need to check on, because you're looking at the 20% that's going against the market. That's a tough play. So if not, if you are going to do it, put the odds in your favor that the stock has the possibility, the ability to keep going up. All right? So those are things that I want you to look for if you are going to go against the trend of the market. I probably can make a search that does that too. EDC, a bull ETF on foreign global, big jump on that. It broke through a downtrend. There it is. So let's talk about that. Broke through a downtrend. Trading up today, no wick. RT is rising. I'm not feeling volume, though. The conviction behind the move is not there. Stock is a buy recommendation. So 3 out of the 4 may not be bad if you want to take this. But again, I'm looking to see if it broke, if it's technically, whether it's a trend line or a level of resistance, making sure that RT is rising, making sure that volume is rising. Is it 3 things? I thought it was 4. What was my 4th thing? I don't remember. All right. But those are the things that I'm looking for. Nice little move on gold, bouncing off a level of support. I do like that it's undervalued and value is rising. Oh, that was my other thing, looking at value. I love that it's undervalued and value is starting to rise. Love the volume on it. Telling you, precious metals is a play. Is the banyan tree all gone? We couldn't go to see it in Lahaina. We went to Lahaina, and it was jacked up. I think the tree is there. We couldn't get to the beach. But I think it's there. But going through, watching the trees that were still there, just scarred with the burn. But the banyan tree, I think, is there. I think so. Michael says, this is why everyone needs VectorVest. For anybody out there who's sitting on the fence, whether or not you're a subscriber to the VectorVest software, listen to VV Nation, folks. These are our folks that have been around a long time. They have subscriptions. For the most part, they're making money. If you are out there and you're not a subscriber to the VectorVest software, go to www.vectorvest.com/YT. You can take out a trial to the VectorVest software for $9.95. Try it for 30 days. All right, and as I'm going through these stocks, if I did not pick your stock to look at, you can always go to www.vectorvest.com/FSA for free stock analysis. We can do the same analysis for you. Just go type in your ticker symbol and we'll send it to you. Is it a good time to buy Tesla while it's half the price? Not yet, Paris. Let the stock show you that it's on the way up before you go buy it. You know, people say, buy the dip. Well, how much, you know, what if you dip more? What if you dip more? That's why I always say, take what the market gives you, take what a stock gives you. A stock will tell you when it's ready to move. All right? A stock will tell you if it's ready to move. Can we talk about Palantir? I'm still in Palantir. PLTR. I'm still in Palantir. I'm never getting out of it because altogether I got like 180% gain on the stock. I've paid for the stock. I'm not getting out of it. I do see the move on it right now, the volume. I would like to see more volume, but it's generally in the average volume. RT is not above 1. Look at that. RT is not above 1. If you're going to get back into Palantir, if you're out of it, I would wait for RT to go above 1. All right? That's what I'd look for. I like the move today. I like that it came back above this level. This was support. It broke down below. Now it's back above. That's a good positive sign. But this is going to be important for me, especially in the market. The way the market is right now, I would definitely want to see RT go back above 1. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Let's go to the next stock. This is more of a volatile stock. Back and forth. I got a solid level of resistance right about here. Solid level of resistance. RT is pulling back even though it's above 1. Volume is not where I'd like it to be. A little bit of a spinning top today. Not bullish, not bearish, but I can clearly see that the stock is moving sideways. All right? If I'm thinking about getting into it, I need to break above that level of resistance. If you're in it, leave it alone. But if it breaks down below this level of support, you probably want to think about closing that out. Next one. Harmony Gold. Just like we saw with KGC, nicely on the rise now because the dollar is being affected adversely. The volume is there. The volume is there. I need it for Harmony to break above this level of resistance. I love that it's undervalued. KGC had rising value. Harmony has sideways moving value, but is grossly undervalued, which is a positive sign. But I'd like to see it break out of this channel before I pull the trigger. Did I say the chicken? Do you know there's a whole bunch of roosters and chickens just running rampant in Hawaii? It's like having stray dogs or stray cats. There's no stray dogs or stray cats in Hawaii that I saw. But there's a bunch of chickens. And everywhere you run around, the roosters are going, arr! I want to just go over and kick the rooster. But I think I would have gotten in trouble. They're just everywhere. They're like stray animals. Goodness gracious. Let's go to the next one. Goldman Sachs. Not much going on. Not much going on here. I like today is up, but I definitely have a trend line. If I'm looking at getting into this stock, it's got to break above the trend line. RT is floating around with 1, just not this day. Oh yes, G Money. There's a lot of places that there's a lot of homeless people too. That was kind of like, wow. This beautiful place had a lot of homeless people. Absolutely. So I think the top-rated UMAX ETF is shorting Tesla. The very bottom is one is TSLY. Tesla's hurting. A MicroStrategy, I'm not a fan of it. A whole bunch of sideways move, a little bit of run-up now. Again, this could be part of the rally that's going on with crypto. I'd keep my eye on the crypto stocks. You know how I feel about them, but if they give you an opportunity to make money, even if it's short term, you might want to pull the trigger on a couple of them. I'm not going to tell you to bet the farm. Again, here's another one where I need RT to go above 1. I like the move up from the low. Putting itself back into a channel, big thing for me is I want to see RT go above 1. The last stock on the list, Coin. Same scenario. RT is not above 1. If you're going to play any of the crypto stocks based on this summit, make sure RT is above 1 before you pull the trigger. Don't get suckered into it. All right? That's all I got to say about that. All right. I think I'm done for today. Hopefully I covered everything that needed to be covered. Watch tonight's video. The 6 p.m. video is going to be the state of the U.S. market, the U.S. stock market. And I'm going to present it just like the president presents the State of the Union, it's going to be very monotone, but it's going to talk about the little pieces that are affecting the market and the state of the current market right now and where it should go. Where it should go and where it's going to go is probably going to be two different things. Just like I currently feel that the market does have more downside, folks. I don't think we can get around it. Now, I could be wrong, and the algos could push the market. The enthusiasm over this, that, or the other thing could push buyers back into the market. A lot of people are waiting to buy the dip right now. I don't think that the dip is done dipping. I just don't think. I think the longer the tariffs play out, the more adversely it's going to affect the market. All right? Should we get out totally? Amir, that's up to you. That is up to you. If the market does a rebound, contras are going to get affected adversely. Puts are going to get affected adversely. Covered calls are going to get affected adversely. You got to just be cognizant of what the chart of the VVC is telling you. All right? Don't let the news wrap you up. Don't let one day wrap you up. Keep your head off the swivel. Watch the VectorVest composite. Watch the indicators, the MTI and the BSR. Folks, if more of you did that, I think more of you would be in a better spot right now than you are. All right? For those people who are following the timing in the VectorVest software, I think you should already know what's going on. But watch the VVC. Watch the VVC. All right? With that, I'm thinking about done. Man, it was raining like the dickens this morning, and then it turned out nice. Now I got to go eat. I was going to take Joey out to lunch today, and Joey said, "Get away from me." That's what he said. I was like, wow, Joey, that wasn't a very nice thing to say. He said, "Go away." Didn't you say that, Joey?
Not what I said.
He said that's exactly what he said. He said,
Not what I said.
Joey said, "Get away." I was like, wow.
Don't mute you, keep telling lies.
Don't mute me. Why are you going to mute me? I don't tell lies. I'm not telling lies. I'm glad to be back, folks. Thank you for all of that. I am glad to be back. I had a great vacation. Janet wouldn't let me watch the market. That made me sad, but I had a great time. What did John say? John says, "I'm watching." What did John say?
Joey would never say that.
Whatever. Y'all don't know Joey like I know him. Y'all don't know him like I know him. All right, folks. You guys have a great day. Watch tonight's video again. I think it's going to put some perspective on where we are, what things move the markets, why these things are affecting us adversely, all those kinds of things. Make sure you watch it. And invite some other people to watch it as well. Not back, as well. I need a lot of people to get on that video because it's really going to put things into perspective. All right? So with that, folks, have a great day. I'll see you, what's tomorrow? Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow for Trending Thursday. I'll be there for that too. All right? Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha. I can say that now. Aloha, mahalo for all my peeps in Hawaii. Hawaii was a beautiful, beautiful place to be. All right? Remember, there's a lot of great people in the world. If you can't find one, be one. Odabu, bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Until the next time, folks. See ya.